Hello, this is Mason from Darbot, and today I'm going to talk about operators in Java. So in Java, after we learn different numeral expressions, we should move on to learn different operators in Java. We're going to cover four kinds of different operators: mathematical, relational, logical, and assignment operators. For mathematical or arithmetic operators, their usage was mostly learned in primary school. There is still a new operator that I want to talk about here, the modulo operator, which looks like a percentage sign. This is the one that used to calculate the remainder of a division. For example, 7 modulo 3 would return 1 because 7 divided by 3 is equal to 2 and has the remainder of 1. Also, the action of squaring or cubing a number cannot be performed directly by this type of operators. For relational operators, they can compare the value of both sides and return a value in Boolean. You may notice the equal sign in Java is actually a double equal sign. This is because a single equal sign is used for assigning values to a variable. More content about variables can be found in our first class. For logical operators, they are used to evaluate the relation between multiple Boolean expressions. It is mostly used to evaluate conditions to make decisions. There are basically three of them: and, or, and not. However, there are also a single and symbol or symbol that stands on their own but serves a different purpose in Java. For assignment operators, they are used for assigning values to a variable by either directly into or by performing some arithmetic. A single equal sign can directly set the value of primitive variable. However, there are still a few details that I want to point out. Java can automatically cast some of the values to perform the operation. For example, when we're doing an addition between 6.7 plus 2, which are two variables with different types, double and int, we're adding them together. 2 will be cast to double type and perform the operation. This is called widening. This type of casting can be done by Java itself. It is also known as implicit casting. The target type should be larger in storage size in order to perform this type of casting. Integer can be widened into float automatically, while double cannot widen into float. To cast a float to int, it must be narrowed. In this case, you must perform explicit casting. Put the type you want to convert to inside a pair of round brackets and place them in front of variable that you want to cast. Both of these casting can only be done with primitive type variable. String, as a more complex type, cannot convert this way. Something that confused me at first I learned about this topic is about integer division. In Java, when you try to calculate division between two integers, the result would always be an integer. For example, when we try to calculate 3 divided by 2, it would return 1.5 if we do the math, but the actual result would be 1 because Java would cast 1.5 to integer again. It will cut off the part after the decimal point. You have to cast 1 or 3 to a double by either adding a casting statement in front of the number or just simply make 1 to 1.0 or 3 to 3.0. Once Java knows there is a double in the calculation, it would automatically cast the other one to a double as well. We always like to use multiple relational operators in math. For example, 3 is greater than 2 is greater than 1. However, this type of comparison cannot be done directly with two relational operators. We have to connect them with the logical operators. And 3 is greater than 2 and 2 is greater than 1. There is also sometimes misconception between single and double equal signs. Just remember, the single equal sign is used when assigning value to a variable, and the double equal sign serves as an actual equal sign in math to compare different values. Let's move on to assignment operator. They are used for assigning values, and they can perform some simple arithmetic before assignment with shorthand. We just talked about the equal sign. So how would you translate I equal to I plus 3? So in math, it would be a totally wrong statement. However, in this case, this means to assign I with a value that is greater by 3 than its original value. This might sound familiar. Assignment operators are actually a shorthand version for this statement. In other words, this statement can be shortened to I plus equal 3 by using assigning operator, and I plus equal 1 and I subtract equal 1 can be shortened again into I plus plus and I minus minus. There are also divide equal, multiply equal, modulo equal. So at this point in the video, you probably lost your way, feeling confused. So let me sum it all up for you. We've talked about 4 types of operators: mathematical, relational, and logical. They all serve different purposes in Java. Mathematical operators are used when you do simple arithmetic. Relational operators are used to compare their value against each other. Logical operators are used to evaluate the relation between multiple Boolean expressions. There are also some details of operators worth noticing: implicit and explicit casting, integer division, and typical misconceptions